Onyancha. The charge is willful failure to comply with the law relating to procurement, contrary to Section 45, subsection 2B, as read with Section 48, subsection 1 of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act number 3 of 2003. The particulars are on 14th May 2014 at the National Hospital Insurance Fund, headquarters along Ragati Road in Nairobi County within the Republic of Kenya, being members of the Tender Evaluation Committee for tender number NHIF/018/2013-2014, willfully fails to comply with the law relating to procurement, to which Section 66, subsection 2 of the Public Procurement and Disposal Act 2005 and Regulation 16, subsection 5A of the Public Procurement and Disposal Regulation 2006 by failing to adhere to procedure criteria set out in the tender document in evaluating the submitted bids. True or not true, Eileen Genetic Rono, Jacinta Nyakeo Mwangi, Gilbert Gazuo Kamau, Kennedy Adhawaku, Frederick Sagwe Onyancha. Count number 3 is for Geoffrey Mwangi, Ruth Sudoi Makala, Pamela Nyaboke Marendi, Gibson Kamau Muhoho, Millicent Wangoi Mwangi, Matilda Mwangemi, Darius Philip Mbogo. The charge is willful failure to comply with the law relating to procurement and contrary to Section 45, subsection 2B, as read with Section 48, subsection 1 of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act number 3 of 2002. The particulars are on 29th day of May 2014 at the National Hospital Insurance Fund headquarters along Ragati Road in Nairobi County within the Republic of Kenya, being members of the Tender Committee for tender number NHIF/018/2013-2014, willfully failed to comply with the law relating to procurement, to which Section 27, subsection 3 of the Public Procurement and Disposal Act 2005 and Regulation 10, subsection 2A of the Public Procurement and Disposal Regulations 2006, by failing to review, verify, and ascertain that the procurement was undertaken in accordance with the terms set out in the tender document, thus awarding the tender to MS Website Limited for the supply of integrated revenue collection services against the intended procurement of integrated revenue collection system. True or not true, Geoffrey Mwangi, Ruth Sudoi Makala, Pamela Nyaboke Marendi, Gibson Kamau Muhoho, Millicent Wangoi Mwangi, Matilda Mwangemi, Darius Philip Mbogo. Count number 4. The charge is for Simeon Ole Kirgotty. The charge is abuse of office contrary to Section 46 as well as Section 48 of Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act number 3 of 2003. The particulars are on 15 August 2014 at the National Hospital Insurance Fund headquarters along Ragati Road in Nairobi County within the Republic of Kenya, being the Chief Executive Officer for National Hospital Insurance Fund, used your office to improperly confer a benefit to MS Website Limited by awarding contract for tender number NHIF 018/2013-2014 for provision of integrated revenue collection services for a sum of Kenya shillings 49,513,440 only. True or not true? Count number 5 is for Simeon Ole Kirgotty. The charge is abuse of office contrary to Section 46 as read with Section 48 of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act number 3 of 2003. The particulars are that on 19th December 2014, at the National Hospital Insurance Fund headquarters along Ragati Road in Nairobi County within the Republic of Kenya, being the Chief Executive Officer for the National Hospital Insurance Fund, used your office to improperly confer a benefit to MS Web Tribe Limited by authorizing irregular payments of Kenya shillings 49,513,440. True or not true?
Not true.
Count number 6 is for Simeon Ole Kirgotty. The charge is abuse of office contrary to section 46 as read with section 48 of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act number 3 of 2003. The particulars are between 15th August 2014 and 30th June 2017 at the National Hospital Insurance Fund headquarters along Ragati Road in Nairobi County within the Republic of Kenya, being the Chief Executive Officer for National Hospital Insurance Fund, used their office to improperly confer a benefit to MS Web Tribe Limited by unlawfully authorizing payments of commissions amounting to Kenya shillings 557,719.84. True or not true? Number 7 is for Simeon Ole Kirgotty. The charge is willful failure to comply with the law relating to management of public funds, contrary to section 45, subsection 2b, as read with section 48 of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act number 3 of 2003. The particulars are between 15th day of August 2014 and 30th day of June 2017 at the National Hospital Insurance Fund headquarters along Ragati Road in Nairobi County within the Republic of Kenya, being the Chief Executive Officer and the Accounting Officer of the National Hospital Insurance Fund, an officer whose functions concern the use and management of public funds, willfully failed to comply with the applicable law and procedures relating to management of public funds, to which section 68, subsection 1A and B of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 by unlawfully authorizing payment of Kenya shillings 595,71,151.84 to MS Web Tribe Company Limited. True or not true? Count number 8, count number 9, and count number 10 and 11 are for Geoffrey Mwangi. Count number 8, the charge is abuse of office, contrary to section 46, as read with section 48 of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act number 3 of 2003. The charge is, the particulars are on 19th December 2014 at the National Hospital Insurance Fund headquarters along Ragati Road in Nairobi County within the Republic of Kenya, being the Acting General Manager, Finance and Control of the National Hospital Insurance Fund, used your office to improperly confer a benefit to MS Web Tribe Company Limited by making irregular payments of Kenya shillings 49,513,440. True or not true? Count number 9. The charge is abuse of office contrary to section 46 as read in section 48, subsection 1 of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act number 3 of 2003. The particulars are on 6 September 2017 at the National Hospital Insurance Fund headquarters along Ragati Road in Nairobi County within the Republic of Kenya, being the Chief Executive Officer and the Accounting Officer of the National Hospital Insurance Fund, used your office to improperly confer a benefit of Kenya shillings 128,109,153.85 to MS Web Tribe Company Limited by extending an expired contract for tender number NHIF 018/2013 to 2014 for provision of integrated revenue collection services. True or not true?
Not true.
Count number 10. The charge is abuse of office contrary to Section 46 as read in Section 48 of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act number 3 of 2003. The particulars are on 13th February 2018 at the National Hospital Insurance Fund. At the National Hospital Insurance Fund headquarters along Ragati Road in Nairobi County within the Republic of Kenya, being the Chief Executive Officer and the Accounting Officer of the National Hospital Insurance Fund, used their office to improperly confer a benefit of Kenya shillings 125,796,424.44 to MS Web Tribe Company Limited by extending an expired contract for tender number NHIF 018/2013 to 2014 for provision of integrated revenue collection services. True or not true? Count number 11. Willful failure to comply with the law relating to management of public funds, contrary to Section 45, subsection 2b, as read in Section 48, subsection 1 of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act number 3 of 2003. The particulars are between 1st July 2017 and 30th June 2018 at the National Hospital Insurance Fund headquarters along Ragati Road in Nairobi County within the Republic of Kenya, being the Chief Executive Officer and the Accounting Officer of the National Hospital Insurance Fund, an officer whose functions concern the use and management of public funds, willfully failed to comply with the applicable law and procedures relating to management of public funds, to which Section 68, subsection 1A and B of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 by authorizing irregular payments of Kenya shillings 253,905,580.29 to MS Web Tribe Company Limited. True or not true?
Not true.
Count number 12 is for Geoffrey Mwangi, Ruth Sudoi Makala, Pamela Nyaboke Marendi, and Joseph Mutinda Mbuvi. The charge is willful failure to comply with the law relating to procurement, contrary to Section 45, subsection 2b, as read in Section 48, subsection 1 of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act number 3 of 2003. The particulars are on 4th day of June 2018 at the National Hospital Insurance Fund headquarters along Ragati Road in Nairobi within the Republic of Kenya, being the Chief Executive Officer and the Accounting Officer within the Republic of Kenya. Being the Chief Executive Officer and the Accounting Officer, Acting Corporate Secretary, Manager Supply Chain Management, and General Manager Finance of the National Hospital Insurance Fund, respectively, willfully failed to comply with the law relating to procurement, to which Section 124, subsection 12b of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015, by using single source selection as a procurement method for provision of integrated revenue management system by MS Web Tribe Company Limited for Kenya shillings 495,205,588 and 74 cents by tender number RFP SSSN 001 2017 to 2018 without a justifiable cause. True or not true, Geoffrey Mwangi, Ruth Sudoi Makala, Pamela Nyaboke Marendi, Joseph Mutinda Mbuvi. Count number 13 is for Gilbert Gaduo Kamau. The charge is false accounting by a public officer, contrary to Section 330B of the Penal Code, Cap 63, the laws of Kenya. The particulars are on 18th December 2014 at the National Hospital Insurance Fund headquarters along Ragati Road in Nairobi County within the Republic of Kenya, being the Senior Systems Administrator and Programmer of the National Hospital Insurance Fund, made false entries in the payment voucher number 512466, purporting that services had been rendered appropriately and goods had been taken to charge and in good working condition are to you to be false, thereby occasioning a loss of public funds amounting to Kenya shillings 49,513,440, monies paid to MS Web Tribe Limited. Count number 14 is for David Muli Nzuki. The charge is neglect of official.
I think I could. Okay. I understand the two are not fair. David Murinzi.
Well, I present him. I'm going to let him read the charges, Your Honor. I will address you.
Unless he's willing to take the plea.
No, we don't need to go through.
Okay, that's okay. But I will address you on him.
We go to 16.
16.
Your Honor, we jump 14 and 15.
14 and 15. And then we go to 16.
Count number 16.
Yes, that's okay.
The count number 16. The charge is for Geoffrey Mwangi, Mudzo Uhenderwa Nzili, Yusuf Ibrahim, Eli Nyaim Opot. The charge is breach of trust contrary to Section 127, subsection 1, as read with Section 127, subsection 2 of the Penal Code. The particulars are on 25th January 2018 at the National Hospital Insurance Fund. At the National Hospital Insurance Fund headquarters boardroom on 10th floor along Ragati Road in Nairobi County within the Republic of Kenya, being persons employed in the public service as members of the National Hospital Insurance Fund Board of Management and being members of the Audit Committee of the said Board of Management, committed a breach of trust by failing to disclose material facts in regard to extension of contract number NHIF 018/2013 to 2014 for the provision of integrated revenue collection services to the National Hospital Insurance Fund Board of Management, thereby occasioning a loss of public funds to which Kenya shillings 200,581,964.45. True or not true, Geoffrey Mwangi? Mudzo Uhenderwa Nzili?
Not true, Your Honor.
Yusuf Ibrahim?
Not true, Your Honor.
Eli Nyaim Opot?
Not true.
Count number 17. The charge is for Danson Mushemi Junji, Robert Mureithi Muna, and MS Web Tribe Limited. The charge is fraudulent acquisition of public property contrary to Section 45, subsection 1A, as read with Section 48 of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act number 3 of 2003. The particulars are between 15th August 2014 and 31st October 2018 in the Nairobi County within the Republic of Kenya, being the directors of MS Web Tribe Limited and a limited liability company, respectively, fraudulently acquired public property to which Kenya shillings 1,103,060,853.89 from the National Hospital Insurance Fund. True or not true, Danson Mushemi Juju? Robert Mureithi Muna? MS Web Tribe Limited?
Your Honor, for record purposes, Your Honor, the
Apart
quorum.
from two, Your Honor. There are two who are not there.
Yes. Number 6. Accused 6 and accused number 14. No, 14 is present. Oh, 14 is present. Who is not present? Huh? 13. 6 and 13. That's okay. Yeah. But Your Honor, also count 1. Accused number 6 is charged in count number. No, it's okay. It's okay. So Your Honor, in terms of quorum. I can read the quorum as follows. Yes. As Your Honor, for the first accused person, Mr. Katwa Kigen and Mr. Biketi appear. I appear Professor Gender and Migos Ongamba and Mr. Walubengo for the second accused person. Mr. Walubengo. Mr. Nyakundi, Asa Nyakundi, Senior Counsel. Mr. Munene, Dr. Olemapelu. He's not very tall, he's somewhere. Mr. Theuri and Mr. Naiku. That's for the third. Naiku. Yes, Your Honor, for the fourth accused is Mr. Cliff Ombeta Esquire.
With emphasis.
The fifth accused is Mr. Migos Ongamba again. For the sixth accused, Mr. Asa Nyakundi, Senior Counsel. Again, I appear for the seventh accused with Mr. Mbiu. I appear with Mr. Mbiu for the seventh accused. For the eighth accused, Your Honor, is Mr. Langat, Mr. Kiprono, and Mr. Mbati. Yes, Kish. Lagat. Lagat. Kiprono is the man from America. Yes, that one. And Mr. Mbati. Mbati. They are robbed. They are all robbed. He's the one who wanted to marry Clinton's daughter. Are you serious? Yes. Did you get it, Your Honor? You would have been Bill Clinton's son-in-law. Your Honor, Mr. Kabue appears for the ninth accused. He's in court.
I'm present, Your Honor.
Yes, Kathy Kilonzo Esquire appears for the 10th accused together with Mr. Kieti Ndolo and Mr. Mikos.
and Mr. Migos Ongabra. For the 11th accused, Your Honor, and Mrs. Maumo and Mr. Otieno. Miss Maumo. She's still Miss Maumo. I think she's still Miss. For the 11th accused, 11th. And Your Honor, for the 12th is Mr. Omwansa, Mr. Omari, Mr. Ndubi, Mr. Masaki, and Onyango. Miss Masaki. Miss Masaki and Mr. Onyango. 12. Your Honor, the 13th accused person is not represented yet. She is also not in court. Cliff from Beta Esquire holds brief for Mr. Mbundo Tich for the 14th accused person. Mr. Wasonga appears as Wasonga Bernard for the 15th accused person. Mr. Innocent Muganda, together with Ms. Anyega, Mr. Innocent, together with Mr. Anyega, appear for the 16th accused person. Anyega.
Anyega is G. Anyega.
Yes, my Lord President Okero, Isaac Okero, somewhere appear for the 17th with Mr. Hussein. Your Honor, for the 18th accused person, Mr. Lugunya and Mr. Nyangito. Okay, so we also. Yes, that's okay. Your Honor, then we have for the 9th.
Yes.
No, yeah.
It's okay, Prof. Don't make an issue.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
No, I think it happens, you know. It happens. It was a hard name to read.
And Gito as well. I think you have been paid fees, so. Yeah, for 19th is Mr. Seth Ogenda.
Not you, not Professor.
Not myself. For the 20th accused person is Mr. Mbiyu, Mr. Mburu, and Miss Gladys Kinyanjui. Gladys Kinyanjui. She's here.
She's Mrs.
Mrs.
I also appear on behalf of Johnson Moshemi, accused number 19,
Yes.
number 20, and 21.
Yeah, that's okay.
So they're in. So Gladys. So, yes. So for the.
Mrs. Kinyanjui.
Mburu, and Mrs. Gladys Kinyanjui for the 20th, and then Kinyanjui now comes also on the 19th, for the 19th, with the Seth. Yes, with the Seth agenda for the 19th. For Danson. Then 21 is Mrs. Gladys Kinyanjui and Seth's agenda. And Buru. and Mr. Agenda. Your Honor, we now have the ominous task the prosecution will proceed.
May it please the Honor, my name is Emily Kamau, Deputy DPP, appearing for the Republic with MS Kidiri, Principal Prosecution Counsel. Yes? You have gotten the record, Your Honor, but let me just mention it. And MS Omoro, Your Honor, Principal Prosecution Counsel. MS Patel, Your Honor, and
Okay. Patet.
and Mr. Obiti for the Republic, Your Honor. And so that's the defense by answer to, in order of what I would say, I wish to be put on record that we are not opposing bail, Your Honor. This is not because the charges are not serious. We consider them very serious, Your Honor. I have heard in this court the charges being referred to as generic. But we submit that these are serious charges founded on the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, which criminalizes them. They are indeed criminalized in the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act. And we would consider them to be as serious as murder. More so, Your Honor, when the monies are read to have been stolen are monies meant for the sick people, that is the money belonging to the National Health Insurance Fund. The only reason that we are not opposing bail, Your Honor, is that our law, that is Article 49, sub-article page, provides for bail. That's the only reason. Otherwise, we are considering these charges to be very serious. Sub-article page. 1H, Your Honor, sorry. Your Honor, why I'm saying so is that these offenses, even though being demeaned, they are the enablers of very serious crimes. They are the ones that enables the siphoning of public funds. We are talking, Your Honor, of more than $500 million stolen from the management for the sick. That is the NHIF fund. Indeed, there are people who must have died for lack of facilitation by NHIF.
Your Honor, that is getting now
I wanted to object, but I'm
Kindly, Your Honor, could I have my day in court?
No, Your Honor, there is no charge of anybody dying in this charge sheet. So let us forget about people dying and stealing. It is not there, it is not there.
Your Honor, kindly, could I have my day in court? The counsel for the defense will be responding. I was in this court when we were being told about generic charges, and I think...
Your Honor, with respect, just a minute, with respect, Your Honor, I think we have a right, Your Honor, when some statements are being made and they are prejudicial, it will not be our duty to just keep quiet. Some of the statements that are being made by my very good friend are actually wrong, they are prejudicial, and they have absolutely no basis. Your Honor, please, don't get incited by the prosecution. These are not statements that are backed with any facts.
Your Honor, I don't know which way to go. I was just demonstrating to this. They offer. Your Honor, it is not only the counsel for the defense which get offended, even the state gets offended when we are slighted that we are just coming with flimsy charges. I am just demonstrating.
For the record, we don't get offended. We don't get offended at all.
But Your Honor,
We don't get offended.
Your Honor, the issue that the charges are pedestrian has not been made in this case. It was a different case.
So why are we
We don't know what she's responding to. She was meant to address you on the question of bail. She has indicated she's not opposing it. She has told you, notwithstanding that she's not opposing it, she takes it gravely. I think that is on record. That's fine.
Mr. Katwa, let me have my day. Your Honor, where I'm coming from is that I say the state is not opposing bail. But the reason we are not opposing bail is not that these charges are not serious. Indeed, we consider them to be very serious. And the reason that they are considered being very serious is that money meant for 6 people was stolen, and that is more than $500 million. So I'm not responding to them. I'm just demonstrating why we consider these charges to be very serious. And I have also indicated that these are also charges founded on international law, that is United Nations Convention Against Corruption, and domesticated in the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act 2003. They are the enablers of very serious crimes, that is the loss of government funds, and the state considers them to be very serious. Your Honor, this notwithstanding, my colleague, Mr. Owiti, will be addressing you on the conditions that you'll be seeking.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sure, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I've always minded my language. Your Honor, although the state has indicated that we shall not oppose the release of the accused persons on bail, we shall be making an application and what we call suggestions as to what terms we'll be urging this court to attach to the bail terms that shall be granted. An application. We are making an application from our part relating to the terms of bail that this court may eventually give or attach when releasing the accused. All right, I could withdraw the use of the application, but basically I am suggesting terms that the court may attach when granting bail. That suggestion is grounded on the law. And we are grounding it on Article 49(1)(h), which talks of reasonable grounds during the release of an accused person on bail. We shall be suggesting what we think is reasonable in the circumstances of this case. And number 2, we are also grounding our suggestions on Article 24, which allows this court to curtail any fundamental right where such curtailment is just and reasonable in a society such as our Kenyan society, which is democratic and open. Needless to add, the right to liberty is not absolute, so that's why we are suggesting these terms. So we are suggesting, number 1, Your Honor, that on being released on bail, each and every accused person deposits their travel documents, included and not limited to their passports. Each of the accused persons, if released on bail by this honorable court, yes, Your Honor? If released on bail, we are suggesting that this court attaches a term. Yes, that is just one of the terms.
The presumption is that you have been released.
I am suggesting, Your Honor, that if this court decides to release the accused persons on bail, then one of the terms is that each of them deposits their travel documents, including but not limited to their passports. That's number one. Travel documents including but not limited to passports.
What could they do?
You're not being asked which other it could be.
Travel doc. It's only a passport.
Yellow fever, pengine.
Thank you.
Travel
thank you, Your
ticket.
Honor.
Travel ticket. Is that what you said?
Number two, I will be asking the court to make an order that no accused person makes contact upon our supply with statements and documents to be relied on with any of the prosecution witnesses. And I'm reminded that that contact is direct or indirect, both.
Cannot be in supermarkets.
But break it's the same thing.
Number three, Your Honor, that this court makes an order that no accused person accesses their office during the pendency of this trial. Yes, Your Honor, related to this matter.
Is it a sin of crime? That's what the magistrate is asking.
Related to this matter, Your Honor, in criminal case number 2358 of 2018, before your brother, Mr. and I, some persons were charged in relation to this matter. 2358. Sorry, 2238. I am advised by my learned senior. 2258 of 38 of 2018.
Was this necessary?
2238 of 2018. 2238. Where two persons have been charged with disobedience of lawful orders. One of them is an accused person. Accused number 2. And one of our contentions in that matter, because I appear in that matter, is that there has been interference with both witnesses and likely witnesses and the officers which are seen on crime.
Your Honor, I must object to that line because we are appearing together with Mr. Whitty in that matter. That matter, there was no allegation of interference with witnesses. It was an issue relating to documents which they were supposed to get. And I wouldn't want it to go on record the way he has presented it. And the other person who is accused is not an accused in this matter.
Then I would just proceed.
You know the problem here. Unless you limit Mr. Whitty. Yeah. I think we could just point to the issue because I appear in that case with Mr. Nikos and he's not giving a proper representation of facts.
You know, my learned seniors will have the opportunity to rebut whatever I'm saying so that we save time, which I think is to their benefit. I could finish and then they would respond.
Finish now.
Thank you. Yona, the other prayer that we'll be making is that this court, in considering that economic crimes are a class apart,
What's repetition, Your Honor? I'm saying it's repetition, Your Honor.
all right, thank you. Yona, you could protect me.
When the court sees you need protection.
You know, one, in considering that economic crimes are a class apart, in fact, in my view, way above murder and robbery violence, contrary to what my learned seniors indicated, and also in ensuring the main goal of bail, which is that an accused person attends court. And thirdly, in ensuring that this court protects the integrity of this trial. We are asking that this court, in granting bail, gives bail that are commensurate to the nature of the offense that accused persons are facing. We are talking about amounts to the tune of 1.1 billion lost. We'll also be asking this court to consider the likely penalty under Section 48(1) of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act. And also, Your Honor, the public interest involved in the matter, considering that the NHIF is a fund about the people. We ask you that the bail terms considers that very important aspect. Finally, we shall be urging you to, in the exercise of your discretion, do away with the option of a cash bail.
We should just have a vote.
So that it is easier to follow accused persons, even when in the within the jurisdiction of the court, using sureties. The flip side is that it's difficult to pursue accused persons when they are released on cash bail. Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, in brief, I'll start. Learned friend Nyakundi will submit, and I believe Mr. Nikos and Katwa will add. Your Honor, in opposing the terms, I will submit, Mr. Nyakundi will follow, then Mr. Nikos and Katwa. And if Mr. Langat could add something, they can add. Yes, Your Honor, if I may start with generally thanking the prosecution for upholding the tenets of Articles 49(1)H and Section 123 of the CPC. But secondly, Your Honor, the prosecution seeks to take away what they seem to have conceded to with the right hand, with the left hand, as they submit before you to impose conditions that take away the right to bail or that make it impossible for the accused persons to access bail. Your Honor, first things first. The prosecution has misrepresented to this court that money has been lost. Whereas, Your Honor, if you look at the charges before court, these charges relate to regular procurement. They relate to payment pursuant to procurement. And they touch, Your Honor, on the first accused person, who is now the secretary in the Ministry of Devolution, is no longer an NHIF, is no longer at NHIF. They touch on the second accused person, who is the current managing director of NHIF until last week. But principally, they touch on members of an audit committee charged as accused number 16, 17, and 18. They touch on ordinary civil servants, starting with accused number 3, Ruth Sudoi Makala, advocate, who is the corporation secretary. And these civil servants in the category from number 3 to number 15 discharge their duties in the ordinary course of their employment. Your Honor, the services rendered to NHIF by the 21st accused, Mrs. Webtribe Limited, whose CEO is the 19th accused, Mr. Danson Mushemi Guilty, are services that continue to enable the functioning of the National Hospital Insurance Fund. They are the basis upon which collections and payments are made to NHIF. The Honor will note that no charge has been brought before this court to say that Danton Mushemi and Webtribe and Robert Muridi did not render service. In fact, if Mr. Mushemi switched off those services from this room, and he could, NHIF would crumble. And that is what would occasion what learned friend Emily has referred to. That is what would occasion a crisis, because then there would be no software to run the system of payment. You know what these charges are all about? They are about alleged processes that were not followed, but they do not relate to any theft or loss of any kind. Your Honor, would Mr. Mushemi be expected to render professional services and not be paid? He's only a Christian, he's not a church. But most fundamentally, Your Honor, you have board members selected from committee, the audit committee, Mr. Dr. Eli Naim, Mr. Yusuf Ibrahim, Mr. Mudzo Kwenderwa Mzili, a former teacher, all retired, were merely members of the audit committee. The board that approved the deliberations of the audit committee are not here. Your Honor, I'm demonstrating that the charges before you, and let me borrow Mrs. Emily Kamau's word, are generic. Yes. Ms. Kamau's word, they are generic. They have plucked the 49 million shillings, 513,440, which informed the initial contracts, supplanted that sum severally, so that it appears credible and in line, in tandem with what Mr. Whittier said. Now the sum looks huge. Now you're talking about $500 million. They don't want to say 500 million. They're saying billion inside the You know, we submit that there are also special circumstances to be taken into account. Mr. Simeon Ole Kirgotty is on constant medication over pressure, over diabetes. He has a medical report filed in court. The 13th, Mudzo Musili is retired. We have a lactating mother with a baby in court.
Yeah, the one that was allowed to
yes, accused person. We have Ruth Sudoi, who was an epileptic child, the third accused person.
From ICU.
And who just came from ICU this morning. The fourth accused person was just discharged from hospital. She's actually just undergone treatment. The other point is, in considering bond terms, we urge the court to disregard submissions by Whitty. There has been no demonstration that any of these accused persons is a flight risk. The second accused person, Mr. Geoffrey Mwangi, has consistently attended court in number 2238, where we appear in this case. The 12th accused person, Your Honor, as you consider the variable bond terms, is only facing one charge. 12th accused person, Frederick Sago Enenche, is only facing count number 2. only one charge. And that charge is linked to procurement. Then I urge you to classify the accused persons as follows. 1, for the board members who appear in account number 16, Geoffrey Mwangi, Muto Musili Yusuf, and NHIF. Your Honor, these accused persons. Your Honor, let me start with the first accused person so that I go sequentially. For Simeon Ole Kirgotty, accused 1, whose charges appear at counts 1, count 4, count 5, count 6, count 7, we propose bond of 1 million shillings, and or in the alternative, cash bail of 500,000. For Geoffrey Mwangi, accused number 2, who is charged in count number 1, count number 8, count number 9, count number 10, count number 11, count number 12, we propose bail of 1 million, bond of 1 million, and the alternative cash bail of 500,000. For accused persons number 3 to 14 or 15, the two are not appear, not in court. But Your Honor, these are civil servants. We propose 3 to all the civil servants up to 11. We propose bond of 10 shillings, 500,000, and the alternative cash bill of 200,000. They are poor. 200,000. And number 17. Your Honor, for accused person number 12, we propose bond of 100,000 and the alternative cash bill of 50,000. This charge is only one single charge. For accused person number, the directors are 16, 17, 18. These are board members who sit and get the statutory allowance, the maximum is 20,000 shillings, tax to 14,000. These ones should live on freedom. These are rendering services to the nation, and for rendering those services, now they're in court. The only charge that they have is that they sat in a committee and found themselves in court. Mr. Nyaim is a very good gentleman, but now he's out there. Under 14 and 15 are facing count number 3. We suggest 200,000, starting cash bill of 100,000. Lastly, Your Honor, for the 19th, 20th, and 21st accused person, Danson Mushemi, I note that they have lumped a charge of 1 billion, which is a total net of the contracts that he's performing, including the contracts that have not been paid. He has not secured the sum of 1 billion, as Ms. Emily Kamau has told the court. He is performing the contract. He is only entitled to a commission of 10% and is yet to be paid. In fact, NHIF owes him. Your Honor, we propose that you give him bail equivalent to the first and second accused persons, 1 million shillings bond, and the alternative cash bill of 500,000. Your Honor, these charges are not frivolous charges. Services have been rendered and continue to be rendered. The lifeline of NHIF, insofar as payment and collections are concerned lies with the 19th, 20th, and 21st of this month. If they switch it off, that is bail. Then those people will die. Then I will pray as follows. That you consider it's 1% commission, 1%.
It's 1%, not 10%.
1%. You may pray that you grant 1 term of trade. We have no problem with attaching the condition of a passport, but not any other. Other travel documents would include driving licenses, and that would be a travesty.
The air tickets.
And in terms of visiting offices, where Section 162 expresses itself on the question of interdiction for civil servants. 62 of the ASECA expresses itself in terms of the specific conditions. We pray that you do not limit access that would violate the rights of the investigators if they require anything. Because the accused person then fall back and say that we are not allowed to access if they need any documents from the accused person. And this, Your Honor, is connected with a charge that the second accused person is facing. He was required to provide documents, to provide book or books. And those who don't live in the office, the book or books. And so if Your Honor gave an order stopping them from accessing NHIF, there will be a problem. But we have no problem with accused persons communicating with witnesses. That is expected. We have no problem with that condition. They don't communicate with witnesses. We have not yet been supplied with a list of witnesses. We do not know who those witnesses are, but it's okay. We have no problem with that. Your Honor, unless my other learned friends have something to add, I will address.
Yes, yes, Your Honor. I will address you very briefly. Your Honor, it is incontestable that these are investigations that have been ongoing for a while. And it's also incontestable that all the accused persons have been cooperating with the police. They've been available as and when needed. They are asked. Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Yeah. So, otherwise, if they had been difficult people, that is the first thing you would have been told by the prosecution. Your Honor, when you have exemplary people like that, it is actually callous to impose difficult terms on them, and it sends a wrong message to anybody who is required to cooperate with the police. It is a factor, Your Honor, that I would like you to consider very, very seriously and in favor of the accused, taking into account, Your Honor, that the primary consideration in bail is to secure the attendance of the accused. That is the primary consideration. Your Honor, I do agree that one of the things that one needs to consider is the seriousness of the charges, but that cannot supplant that primary consideration. Your Honor will notice that on that point, there has been no submission from the prosecution. Indeed, they conceded to the bail application, to bail to the accused. So that, Your Honor, if they satisfy, and they do, then these other things are absolutely secondary. Your Honor, the statements that you had from the prosecution about stealing, about death of people in hospitals, Your Honor, with tremendous respect, that was intended to stir up something. It cannot be arguments that are founded on law. It was intended to create a balloon out of nothing. As my colleague, Senior Counsel Professor Ujen, some emotional reaction from the court. Some emotional reaction from the court. And Your Honor, happily, and I say this, Your Honor, I've been privileged to appear before this court. This court has had to consider this thing over and over again. It is not just a song, it's a chorus, thank you. It's a chorus. Every time that we come here, we are told the same thing. And Your Honor, you cannot do the same thing over and over again and expect varied results. Every other time this has been said, Your Honor, to your credit, you have considered bail very, very properly and used your discretion very well. Your Honor, this thing about the charges being worse than murder, I think we need to address them once and for all, hopefully. Or a class apart. For students of jurisprudence, they will find this argument nebulous. But even assuming for a minute that there is any offense in this country that is worse than murder, treason and so on, Your Honor, murder is triable by the High Court. It's not triable by the subordinate courts. Then are they inviting this court to try an offense that is higher than murder and treason in the subordinate courts when they cannot try murder and treason? Your Honor, that is the fallacy in that argument. The point is this, that as my learned friend said elsewhere, but I would really don't want to go there, but the truth is that this abuse of office and so on, whichever way you look at it, Your Honor, and given our experience, I have absolutely no, I am not ashamed to say that those are generic charges. They're standard. If the prosecution feels that we are offending them, that is the truth. And they keep recurring every other time. Like they said, if you come to your office late, it could be abuse of office. If you charge people arbitrarily, that surely should be abuse of office. What's my point? That is a charge, Your Honor, that is neither here nor there. My point is this, Your Honor, that you have discretion in the grant of bail, a discretion that you have exercised in obedience to the dictates of the Constitution. You have done that before. In fact, in a case where I think I remember, Your Honor, when we appeared before and we argued at length, Your Honor just retired in 15 minutes. You came back and there you are, bail was granted, and Your Honor gave a ruling that actually impressed us. It was a long ruling. You were able to discuss the matter in that ruling. The point is, again,
They're not blackmailing.
Don't get blackmailed by these statements. Just grant fair bail terms. That's all we want.
Your Honor, if I may, Mrs. Kianjui, for 19, 20, and 21. We'll be opposing the third condition by the prosecution in respect of not allowing the accused persons to enter their offices during the investigation, pending the pendency of this trial. Your Honor, you will note that the offices of accused number 21 are not in the NHIF premises. Secondly, Your Honor, NHIF is not the only client of accused number 21. Your Honor, granting that term of bail in respect of 19, 20, and 21 will bring their operations to a halt. As that term is blanket, it's a blanket condition on all persons. Your Honor will be asking and urging this court accused number 21 is a company that is operating, that it should continue with its operations and serve other institutions in this country, and I concur with Professor Ojienda that if and when the investigators need to visit the offices of the accused number 21, they can give notice and access granted to them. That's all.
Your Honor, very, very briefly. Yes. Yes. Yes, just very, very briefly, you were invited by my learned friend, Mr. Whitty, that whereas they are not opposing bail under 49(1)H, they still went ahead to give you what they are considering compelling reasons why you should give terms that actually limit that bail.
Sorry to interrupt, my senior. I did not say compelling reasons. I said reasonable grounds under 49(1)H.
The net effect is the same because you are referred to Article 24, which then Mr. Whitty said that because we're in a democratic country, that right of liberty can be limited. In order for you to do that, they required to give you a basis. That limitation can only take place under the law. All the issues that you are informed about